4 seconds of footage. One hand, one gesture at the end of a basketball game in April 2023. It started the biggest rivalry in the history of women's sports, and almost everything you were told about it was wrong. This is the story of two players who were turned into enemies by everyone except each other. How a 4-second gesture in Dallas built a billion-dollar league. Why one of them got the magazine covers and the other got the debate shows. And what actually happened when they finally stopped being college rivals and started running the WNBA. It runs from a driveway in Iowa all the way to the 2026 season that's happening right now. It starts 3 years before they ever shared a court. West Des Moines, Iowa. A driveway, a hoop bolted above a garage door that tilts 2 degrees to the left. Brent Clark put that hoop up in 1999. His daughter was born a year later. By the time she was 9, she was keeping a notebook. Every point she scored, every game, every driveway session with her dad. That is not a normal thing for a 9-year-old to do. Newark, New Jersey. Different kind of childhood. Brenda Reese worked doubles. Angel was the oldest of 4. She figured out early that being the biggest person in the room only gets you so far if you can't make the people around you better. She made her teammates better before she ever made herself famous. 2 players, different coasts, different families, different ideas about what basketball was supposed to look like when a woman played it at its highest level. They wouldn't share a court until April 2023. 1 game. 9.9 million people watched that night. That number beat the men's Elite 8. It beat the men's Final Four too. The women's championship game drew more viewers than any men's game in the bracket except the title game itself. Nobody predicted that. Clark scored 30 and it wasn't enough. And the moment 9.9 million people remember isn't the score. Nobody asked Angel Reese what it meant. They told her. A sitting senator called for Reese's suspension. The NCAA said nothing. The senator had not played basketball. LSU threw a parade. She was 21 years old. The argument ran all summer. One side said the coverage gap was obvious. Clark got profiles, endorsements, and primetime interviews, while Reese got debate segments. The other side said Clark had broken the all-time scoring record, and that explained the attention. Both things were true. Neither one canceled the other. Clark gave 47 press conferences her senior season. In 47 of them, someone asked about the rivalry. Reese transferred to LSU from Maryland in the spring of 2022. Coach Kim Mulkey had watched her tape and called her directly. Reese averaged 23 points and 15 rebounds in her first Baton Rouge season. The Bayou Barbie brand came later. Reese built it herself. She understood something Clark was still learning. In 2023, the player and the product are the same thing. Some people thought she was doing it wrong. Those people had never had to build anything from nothing. Clark went first, Reese went 7th to the Chicago Sky. 2 cities that were 2 hours apart by car. The Fever and the Sky had never reliably sold out. Both franchises sold out before either player appeared in a preseason game. The WNBA's national television deal was renegotiated while Clark was still in college. It went up 4-fold. Indiana's single-game ticket revenue in Clark's first year exceeded the franchise's entire previous season. The league had been trying to move that number for a decade.
Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa. With the 7th pick in the 2024 WNBA Draft, the Chicago Sky select Angel Reese, LSU.
They met in the pros for the first time on June 1st, 2024. Every media credential in the building was used. Courtside cameras outnumbered the ones at the men's playoff game happening the same night in the same city. Reese fouled Clark hard in the 3rd quarter. Clark made both free throws, said nothing on the way back up the court. Reese said nothing either. The crowd was loud enough that it didn't matter. Clark's rookie year broke the WNBA single-season assist record. She was named Rookie of the Year. She led the league in scoring twice before she was 25. Reese broke the WNBA single-season rebounding record in her first year. The record had stood for 17 years. Both players watched the other's highlight when they thought no one was looking.
Yeah, I think people are just excited to watch. I think that's been the biggest thing about it, is just the amount of fans that are probably going to tune in and watch this. I think not only from, obviously us two, being rookies, being here, being on the same team, but also the dynamic of playing Team USA. Like, that's only comes around every 4 years. Like, it's, the best in the WNBA versus the best in our country and Team USA. So I think that's going to be super fun. I think it's going to be competitive. You don't always see that in all-star games.
3 years after Dallas, the WNBA plays in arenas that have been expanded to hold the crowds. Arenas that used to seat 8,000 now seat 12,000. 3 franchises broke ground on new buildings with women's basketball as the anchor tenant, not a footnote in the lease, the anchor. That had never happened before in the league's 30-year history. Clark is 27. Reese is 24. Neither one is finished. Clark runs a point guard position now that most coaches said wasn't possible for her body type. She proved them wrong the same way she proved everyone wrong, by doing it in a game before the argument could finish. Reese is the most double-doubled player in the league's last 2 seasons. She has never once asked to be compared to anyone else. In April 2023, 9.9 million people watched the national championship. The 2025 WNBA Finals drew 14.6 million for Game 5. The 2026 season opened with a 6-city sellout on the same night. Every ticket gone before the schedule was announced to the public. Gone in the presale. Brent Clark still goes to every game he can get to. He sits the same way he always has. Arms folded, quiet. You can tell he's been watching her do this her whole life, and he still can't fully believe it's real. There's a moment in every Angel Reese game, usually in the third quarter when the other team thinks they've worn her down, where she does something that has no business happening at that size and that speed, and she doesn't celebrate it. She jogs back, points at her teammates. Her mother in the stands does the same thing she always does. She claps twice, sits back down. What the gesture Angel Reese made in Dallas on April 2nd, 2023 lasted 4 seconds. People are still talking about it. That's usually what happens when someone tells the truth in public.